God bless you and kingdom blessings. This apostle coming at you. As you know, Holy Spirit gave us a message in December of last year about it's in the house. Out of that sprung forth an awesome summit that we did in the month of February, which was professional, that dealt with all of the things that we deal with each and every day: credit repair, writing business plans, writing books. Well, we wanted just to be a blessing to you. We're going to have another one coming up, but we just want to show you how blessed those who attended the last summit was. And so for the next few weeks, you're going to be able to see those teachings and see what happened in those that get you ready for when the next summit comes up, you will be there. So be blessed by tonight's presentation. We know it's going to touch your life.
Okay, well, we're going to have a quick word of prayer. I pray everybody can hear me. Again, my name is Nate Akins, and I want to bring you the instruction today on how to write a business plan. But let us have a word of prayer. Father God, it's in Jesus' name. We thank you, we praise you, we glorify you on today, oh God. We thank you for each and every participant that's in this room on today, oh God. Bless them, oh God, for you giving them strategies and ideas and thoughts and creative ingenuity about business. And so here we are right now, coming to get downloads from you on what to do next. And so we thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name, let us all say amen. Bless the Lord. So again, how to write a business plan. I tagged this scripture in Habakkuk 2:2-3 that says, "And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets or tables, that they may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And so what is the Lord saying here? He's saying that, write the vision down. That's what he's asking us to do. Whatever God has given you, he's saying, write the vision. And not only write the vision, but make it plain upon tables. So in our articulation of our business plan, we want to be students and really lay out our plans as articulate as we can, so that he may, that readeth it will run with it. And so who is our business plans for? It's for investors. It's for people that we want to come in business relationships with, strategic alliances, etc. He said, a lot of times we procrastinate about our business plans and the thoughts and ideas that God has given us. But he said, it says it's for an appointed time. Ecclesiastes talks about there's a time and a season for it all. And so here we are now for that time and season. He said, but at the end, it shall what? It shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come at the end. Amen. So let's move on. Let's ask ourselves 5 important core questions that we want to consider as we chart our course down to writing our business plan. The first one is, why am I even entering this business, and what do I want to achieve? Is this a real business that we really want to bring to life, or is this a hobby? Number 2, what problem does your product and or service address? And what solution do you have that will solve that problem? Who are your potential customers, and why will they purchase from you? We have to ask those questions. How will you reach that potential customer base? A lot of times we introduce our product and service to our family and friends, and they're on board with it. But how do we sustain that product and or service to the global customer base? And then where will we get the funding, the financial resources to start and build our business? So I'm not going to make an assumption that everybody knows what a business plan is, but simply put, a business plan is a written document used to describe and map out your business. It details the operational and financial aspects of your company. For lack of a better word, you can look at it as a business Bible, because again, everything that you have that you looking to structure for that product and services is all detailed and outlined through your business plan, and we'll walk through that as we go through the presentation. It's a document that sets up our business future objective and strategies for achieving those objectives. And another way to look at it is organizing and documenting our thoughts and our plans and our thinking. As seasons and economic conditions change, so does the business plan. You may be on one course with a particular product and or service, but let's say, for instance, here's a new product and services that you want to implement into your business. And so that calls for changing several factors of your business plan: the product and service itself, the financial aspects of it, etc. So key reasons and benefits for writing a business plan. And let me say this before I go any further. Today, over these next several minutes, we're not going to come out of this session with a business plan. It's really going to be more of a format of how to outlay and lay out your business plan. But we are having further sessions, and we'll talk about that at the back end of our session today. So key reasons and benefits of writing a business plan. Again, it's a blueprint for all of our decision making that wraps itself around our product and our services and how we see operating that business. A business plan is it attracts key employees, not just employees, but specific employees, because you may have the greatest idea and invention. However, it's important that we have people surrounding us with the expertise in various areas of operations, be it finance, be it marketing and sales, etc. It's a game plan for keeping everyone involved and on the same goals. It attracts business partners and joint ventures and strategic alliance partners with us. It organizes our thoughts and ideas on how we choose to build our business before we end up spending a great deal of money. It's a document that we can convince creditors to give us credit lines to operate. We're going to need inventory. And so a business plan will help us articulate our thoughts and ideas to that vendor and or supplier. And obviously, here's the big one, and it's obtaining funding from lenders or investors to operate our business. So now let's go into the essential components of a business plan. And I really want us to think in our mind structure and layout. That's very important, because the audience in which we're giving our business plans to, these guys get business plans on a daily basis. And so we want ours to stand out. And so, we're talking about structure and layout of our plan. We want to grab the attention of the reader. Okay. Our business plan, again, it's a GPS system or a reference guide or a roadmap to our thoughts and ideas and how we're articulating our operations of our business. Table of contents is so important, along with pagination or page numbers and even color coding our tabs. I want us to think about in this session as we go forward a credit committee presentation. So picture this. We're in a boardroom with a long oak table, and there are 22 seats around the table. And here you are at the head of the table presenting your business plan. And so as you lay out your game plan for your business, you can guide people to certain sections of your business plan, be it the market, be it marketing or sales or financials, etc. That's very, very important. And then we want to move on to our a cover letter. We want to make sure that our cover letter is tailored specifically to introduce your business plan to that specific audience. So in that room, you have people like micro lenders, angel investors, venture capital folk, hard money lenders, family friends even may be there, SBA lenders, brokers, staff, board of director people. But anyway, we want to be able to communicate and articulate a game plan as to how we want to unravel our business plan to get the attention of those that we want involved in our business. Non-disclosure statement is very, very key. A non-disclosure statement is a statement which instructs the reader not to discuss the plan with anyone else. And typically it's a signed document that the reader or the person that you're giving the plan to signs. A great deal of the time, lenders will not sign an NDA because of the fact that they have to share information from your plan with other members of the credit committee and or market research, etc., to move forward with their interest in lending funds to your business. Our cover and title page, it's very simple, but profound still, because we're looking for the business name, address, phone, email address, your business website, your logo. But we also want to make a very bold, clean, and visual statement about your business that will, again, catch the attention of the reader. It's often said that, you know, you only get one chance at a first impression. And so what we want to do in this case is seize the moment. So again, here we are with the table of contents for our plan. I can't stress enough: presentation, presentation, presentation. Color coding, again, divides the multiple sections of our business plan that will take a particular reader to a certain specific area of the plan. That's very, very, very important. I did a presentation to a client on the other day, and I'm talking pretty much on this other point, on start a new section on a new page. So I was talking about revenue, and I discussed the trends of revenue from, let's say, 2021 versus 2020. And I had a color chart, et cetera, and it showed the bars and the graphs. And the next section, I was getting ready to describe operating expenses. And I did not start it in the middle of that page. I started a brand new page for my commentary and charts and graphs on operating expenses. So we have to be cognizant in that as well, because again, in our mind, we're presenting to a group of people that we want involved in our business, and the reference guide approach, again, will be so vital and key to taking us to a great place with those individuals. I really want to home in here on the executive summary. The executive summary is a very vital part of the business plan. An executive summary is really a synopsis of your business plan, which summarizes and highlights of where your business is going and what it will look like once you get there. Your executive summary is what the reader will read first. It has to be inspiring, which catches the attention of the reader. This will open the door for more conversation and discussions and explanation from the reader to you on moving forward with the possibility of funding. If you lose your reader in the executive summary, they're not going forward. And this, again, is what the reader of your business plan will read first. So the executive summary, let me capsulize it like this here. It captures various components of your entire plan in a 2 or 3 page document. So it needs to be very engaging to the reader, because if we can't catch them in the executive summary, they won't read any further. And so it's important that the executive summary, again, captures the importance of the various aspects of the plan. And we'll go into some of those things here shortly. So let's look at two important factors of your executive plan. We want to make sure that we are getting straight to the point. It's so key. And we want to make it interesting for the reader. That's why I keep focusing in on presentation. The lenders, the investors, etc., they're getting business plans every day, all day. And we want ours to stand out. They pay a lot more attention to the ones that they see that's good and in order. That's why I mentioned the color tabs even of your table of contents. So, and the pagination, so they can go to specific areas of your plan to kind of open it up even more than what they're reading in your executive summary. So in 2 to 3 pages, we want to what? Explain the problem your business addresses. Every business out here addresses a specific problem. And we want to make sure we're very clear in identifying what that problem is. And not only that, but how our business addresses that problem. What are the different mechanics and the ways that we address the problems that are out there? Management that's currently in place and their experience. Management is so key, because management, you may be the best person at what you do, but it's important to have the people around you that support you in various areas of your business and how it operates. Very, very key. The next, how much money you need and for what purpose. And that's, that's the sources and uses. The sources are your revenues coming in, and the uses are how you're going to use the funds. I'll bring up the Shark Tank example. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen Shark Tank. And one of the things that people fail on, and that is knowing the numbers. They're asking, okay, so you're asking for $200,000 for 10% of your company. And then they begin to go through the dialogue of, why this, why that, the cost of your product and services, how much you're selling it for, et cetera. We have to know our numbers backwards and forwards. Sales, marketing, and finances are another very important part, because again, what you're doing is that you're pulling out segments of your business plan in the makeup of the executive summary. And one thing that's always key, and they said, make the executive summary the last part of your business plan that you complete. Because again, what you're doing, you're going back through your entire business plan and saying, okay, I need to pull this piece out. I got to pull this piece out, so that it's well versed and in order for the reader of that plan. So let's look at company direction. What we're doing here is telling the reader who you are, who your business is, and where you're headed as a business. It's a vision statement. It's a mission statement. And these statements should be very, very concise and to the point. You can Google actually, how to write a vision statement, how to write a mission statement, and it'll branch out so many different formats to it. But again, they need to be concise and to the point. A vision statement really acts as a goal for your company to strive towards. It's very important. It's an emotional drive to build your business into something that will turn out to be very great and successful. Your mission statement, it's a concise explanation of the reasons you're in existence as a business owner. It describes your purpose and the overall intention of the organization. Okay. So again, it talks a lot about your description of your business model, and how you will make money as a business owner. So here's another very, very important point. We're talking about now our company overview. And this comes into our organizational structure, meaning that what structure have you organized your business? Is it a limited liability corporation, an LLC, or is it a C corp, an S corp, a DBA, or a doing business as? Is it a partnership? Is it a non-for-profit? Is it a sole proprietorship? There are a number of factors that I would suggest that you go out and Google, because there are advantages and there are disadvantages of how you structure your entity. And I'm speaking more so from a tax perspective. Your company overview should also, again, identify your management and staffing, almost like an organizational chart. We know you're up in that top box, but then how does it branch out to other individuals of your organization? The operations of your business, and I'm talking about location and facilities, suppliers or vendors that you guys work with. What's your production cost and, packaging? What's your accounting software like? Equipment requirements, and involvement with quality control and inventory. All those are factors in the operations of your business, however small, however large. We have to consider all of those factors. And then again, business relationships that we have that we want to continue to leverage on to make our business a success. Okay, so now let's get into the meat of a lot of where we're going from here and the reasons for a business plan. This is very, very, very key, because it's always the products and the services that guide us to a successful business. And what we want to do in this particular segment of the business plan is describe what those product and services are. We want to be very, very detailed in how we even came up with the product and services. Again, as I said earlier, what problem does your product and or service address? That's very, very key. We don't want to be just rampant and put products out there that don't address a need or a specific area. And a lot of research and investigating comes into this play. And so how does your business even address the problem? What's your pricing structure to that particular product and or service? Again, I'll go back to the Shark Tank example. What did it cost you to make your product? What did it cost you to produce or put out your service? The cost of it. But then now, what do you sell the product for? The selling of the product is the revenue side. The cost of the product is the cost of goods sold, which ends up being the difference or your gross profit. And we can get in deeper in next sessions that will come after this here. But what makes your product and service unique to others? That's very key, because now you're coming into the competitive edge of what that product and service will do, how it competes in the marketplace, and what are the competitive advantages of that. And so, we need to do a lot of research in this area, because we need to know who our competition is. We need to Google companies like ours and read up on what they do, how they do it, where they do it, etc. That's what is very, very important in our product and strategy session here. Who will buy your product and service? That's important to know. A while back, I had a car wash, a hand car wash, and I intended for or expected a certain segment of people to come to my car wash. Well, that didn't last, but for so long. But I had to make sure that I was relevant in who my customers were, and was it sustainable? So I needed to know who will buy the products? And that's what you need to know. Who will buy your product and or use your service? And are there enough consumers in the market to support it? And now the reader, the investor and or the bank, they want to know sustainability. Is this a one-hit wonder, or is there sustainability? Are the markets open to what it is that you are putting out? And then how do I reach my consumers? These are all, again, very, very vital and important to the lifeline of your business. And that will build revenue for growth, and it will pay back any debts that you may have to those lenders that will give you money. Now let's move on to the market analysis. Industry research is so vital to your product and or service. Here are a couple of companies, NAICS, the North American Industrial Classification System, and the SIC code, or the Standard Industry Classifications, are two vital areas where you can go and research the industry that your product and or service is involved in. It will give you more than what you want to know in regards to lining up, how you play, or the players that are in that specific industry, and how they line up and how you line up against them. Who are the customers in this market? Why will they buy again from you versus someone else? Who's the competition? These are all things that you can Google and find out who they are, where they're located, in distance from where you are geographically, the different type of products and or services that you compete with them on, if they have more than what you offer right now. But again, who is the competition? And why is your product and or service competitive in this market? We need to know those kind of things. And finally, what are the demographics of your potential customer base? And what do I mean? It's the characteristic of the population of who you're catering your product to. I'm talking about more age and income of those individuals. And as we dive deeper, we want to look at behavior patterns, geographics, and psychographic kind of analysis, and market stability. Is the market ripe for you to sustain your product in that market? So from the market analysis, we come into the marketing plan, which are two different segments. But based upon your market analysis, how do you plan on creating customer interest and demand? What are your selling methods? How are you, branding your business, your product and or your service? We want to talk about the selling methods. How do you prospect a potential customer? How do you prepare for prospecting a new customer? What's your approach to that prospect? And then your presentation to that prospect on winning their business. How do you handle objections? You may not, they may have negative things that they say in a session with you on you selling them your product and or service. How do you deal with that rejection? And then we want to close the deal at the end of the day. That's really what it's all about. And follow-up is so key. What about our distribution channels? How will your product reach the market? That's important, because if your product can't reach the market, it's going to be very difficult for us and you to be successful in your business. What about advertising and promotions? What channels will you use in that particular arena? What will your pricing and profitability margins be? And we talked about, your revenue minus your cost of sales being your gross profit. What does that look like? And then public relations. We want to how we're going to disseminate information about our business. What channels will we use to do that? And then leveraging our business relationships. This is market planning and strategy to bring our product and our service to market. And how will an investor's money be used to accomplish all that we're talking about in this particular segment. From the front side, I talked about management. Management is so key. How does your background, you specifically, how does your background and that of your management team uniquely fit in making this business a success? I call it your C-level type folk that surround you with their expertise as the chief operations officer, director of sales and marketing, your director of information technology, your CFO, and your director of human resources. These people all play a very vital role, and the reader of your plan wants to know who these people are and how they're going to play into making your business and your product and your service a success. This is a very, very strong portion of the business plan, and that's called a SWOT analysis. It's your strengths, it's your weaknesses, it's your opportunities, and it's your threats. A SWOT analysis is a report that can help you gauge and analyze what your business does best right now and to devise a successful strategy for the future. Your strengths. We're always good at identifying what our strengths are. However, we're sometimes weak in saying what our weaknesses are, or even if we know, we're not real with it, and we need to be real because the reader wants to know what are the weaknesses of your business and how do you look to improve? What opportunities do we have? What your business can do to grow, and what kind of messaging resonates with those customers? And then the threats. How easy is it for a competitor to enter the market and compete against you? And here it is, and I know you've been waiting for it, and here it is with the financial plan, the projections, and forecasting. This is a very vital area of the business plan because what it does, it tells the reader, okay, their forecast or their previous versus actual and their budgeting lines up with their ability to service the debt that I'm considering lending them. Your financial reports describe to the reader the current financial picture and your projections to meet the business goals and repay any potential loan that you may have in their investment considerations. It tells the reader what? How much money you need, when you need it, and what's the purpose of the dollars that you're needing. And so what does that look like? Again, I continue to say, know your numbers. They want to know a 12-month, month-by-month budget, including startup costs. So one of the things for a business plan that I've done a while back, I went day by day in building my revenue track. So day by day, 7 days is a week, 4 weeks in a month, I tracked all those numbers and came up with what my monthly budget was. And then I did that for the whole year, including startup costs, organizational document costs, website, logo, office supplies, things that are going to start us up in our business. What do those costs look like? And then the next point, a 12-month, month-by-month budget, as well as 3 to 5 years. And you say that's a lot, but yeah, it is a lot, but there are assumptions. When you do the day by day that turns into the week, and then the weeks that turns into the month, and then those 12 months turn into a year, then to build the 3 to 5 years, you're making assumptions that there's maybe a 5% annual growth rate in your particular industry. And so that's how you roll those things forward in the analysis with your income statement. And again, the income statement is really captures your revenue and your operating expenses. So the same thing with the balance sheet, 12 months, month by month, and then the 3 to 5 year analysis. Same thing with cash flow projections. Cash flow projections are nothing more than monies coming into your business and the dollars that are going out of your business. And it's important to keep your fingers on the pulse of what those numbers are, because again, it gives management the tools to make certain business decisions on doing this and doing that. The sources and uses of funds we talked about a while back. The sources, again, being dollars that are coming in to your business, either through family and friends, and definitely through investors. And how are you utilizing those funds? Is it going to be for equipment? Is it going to be for inventory, et cetera, et cetera? And then I'm throwing this in: a best case, a most likely, and a worst case scenario budget. Typically, the budget that we just talked about is a most likely. Um, when you look at a best case scenario. I'm sorry. A best case scenario would probably be a budget that is a little bit off from your most likely, and then you have the worst case scenario, which you can basically percentage down what a worst case scenario budget will look like. It shows the lender or the investor that you're thinking about your financial model in regards to them lending you money and what those may look like. Here at the end of the business plan, you are basically putting in addendums, and addendums are really nothing more than attachments of documents that were discussed in the body of your plan. We're talking about resumes. Resumes of maybe current management, you and current management, operational documents such as the articles of incorporation, your bylaws, your tax ID number, which is represented on a SS4 statement. If you're a nonprofit, your letter of determination. Again, what we want the reader to look at, and that is we're covering all our bases. Credit reports and Dun and Bradstreet report. Credit reports are those of the individual owner, and D&B reports are like a credit report for the business. And then there'll be other documents. But what I wanted to really say as we come out of here and get ready to go to our Q&A. Today, what we're really doing is scratching the surface of how to write a business plan. My goal really is to bring forth a 5 to 7 week workshop where we can be accountability partners to one another. And at the end of that workshop, I would want to look at, participating, making sure that we have a business plan that comes out at the end of that workshop ready to submit to a lender and or investor. The workshop that I'm looking at and considering will be titled The 4 Pillars to Entrepreneurial Success. And those 4 pillars being how to plan your business, how to launch your business, and how to manage your business, and finally, how to grow your business. And each one of those areas, they blow up into something bigger. In planning, in how to plan your business, it talks about the business plan model, but it also talks about formulating your organizational documents, your articles, and how you structure, which we talked about earlier on. Launching it is finally getting ready to put it out there. And then managing it is really the operational documents that we talk through, what those things are going to look like in regards to the various components of how you're going to operate your business. And then finally, how you grow your business. Do you want to look at additional locations, et cetera? Do you want to consider franchising your business? So there are a number of things there that we have to consider. But again, at the end, I would really like to have a workshop like that, and I pray everyone that's in our session today has an interest in wanting to consider doing that. Our presentation, as I said at the onset, I wanted you all to consider and look at what we walked through today from a credit committee standpoint, meaning that here you have the opportunity to present your plan your business plan to various individuals that are in the room. And here you are again at the seat of the head of the table, going through this whole outline that we just walked through, and being so articulate and knowing your business, as you know, because God has given you this thought, this business, this idea for such a time as this, so that you can be successful. It's not by accident that we're even here in this session today, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you. But again, there's a lot of work that goes into the business plan. A lot of times it's intimidating. And because of the intimidation factor, we began to say, "Oh no, that's too much. I can't do it." We put it on the back burner and we procrastinate as far as not bringing that back. And so here we are, as I mentioned. I want to be, and we should all be, accountability partners to one another, and being able to, form a group that will be able to bounce questions off of one another in in a Facebook format, being able to reach out to one another, asking questions on areas that we may be struggling in or need some help in structuring. And so that those are some of the things I want and what I'd like to develop in this 4 pillars to entrepreneurial success. And let me say this as well. There are a number of different business plan softwares that are out in the market today that make things a lot easier for the reader. They open up various templates, in all of the areas and segments that we went through today. And so you're basically copying and pasting your thought into these templates, which is good because it gives you more flexibility on what these business plan templates are structured to do, and kind of leads and guides you through it all, especially as it relates to what we just talked about, and that's in the financial piece. Going from daily, what our revenues look like daily for 7 days that make up our revenue for the week, and then what that week looks like for a month. Well, when we throw our numbers into the formulas on some of these business plan templates, it builds that for us so that we won't have to go through and build it ourselves in Excel spreadsheets, etc. And we need to know our numbers. It helps us understand what our numbers are, because now we're saying, okay, how many cupcakes are we selling on Monday throughout the week? What's that going to look like? What's the cost side of the cost of sales of the ingredients to the cupcake? What are our operating expenses as far as rent and office supplies and other areas of our expenses? And so we throw those numbers in to this template, and it builds up those formulas for us. And as I mentioned, as far as assumptions in annual growth for the industry in which our business is affiliated in, we throw those assumptions that let's say it's 5%. We throw that 5%, and it calculates out all of our assumptions for that 3 to 5 year business plan. But again, if I could say anything, know your numbers. These business plan templates, they offer us areas of finance and human resource and legal and management, marketing, procedures and PR and media, research and development and sales. So it gives you everything you need to be successful in operating your business. And so I pray that, as we again get ready to come out of this session for Q&A, I pray that the information that we discussed was helpful. Again, it's framework. It's a guide for us to begin to look at and research how we do what it is we're going to do in creating our business plan. Our moderator will be coming up soon, but again, My name is Nate Akins. If you have any questions and or that you want to ask outside of here, you can do that at josephcompany1344 at gmail.com. Again, josephcompany1344 at gmail.com. Renald is in your hands, buddy.
All right, Nate, I want to thank you for that. We're definitely going to be talking later as we move forward. What I like about it is you have identified a plethora of things that will continue us on in building that plan. Because as I stated earlier, and I know that you understand that, if you fail to plan, then there will be no plan.
Plan to fail. Exactly.
You plan
yes,
to fail.
yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to give this young man a hand clap right now. He has done an awesome job. But what I need for you to do is, if you have any questions or answers, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a question mark in there. What you do is click on that, and you can ask your question. And then when the question comes up to us, we can be able to ask it to Nate, and he'll be able to answer that question. So just take your time right now. Ding, 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 ding. Ding. Go ahead and ask that question.
Wow, that means we were pretty thorough.
Yes.
Do you have any questions specifically, Renald?
Yeah, I have a question for an individual that is looking to start a church, because there is a spiritual side to a church, and then there is a business side to the church.
Sure.
And in that environment, how would a upcoming pastor or an individual who is seeking to begin a ministry with this business plan, because would it fit the same? It was basically some of the criteria related to business plan, but there would be something different with that. From a church. Yeah,
absolutely. There's still a business plan aspect to a non-for-profit, which that's the segment that a church falls under. They're a 501c3, so it's important even within the organizational documents of a business plan for a church. You have to do and complete what's called a 1023 application that makes that church a non-for-profit, or it takes it off the tax roll. It makes it an NFP, or a non-for-profit organization. You get a letter of determination once the officials review your whole documents. But yes, you definitely have a different kind of breed of organizational documents and business plan. But still, whatever the vision for that pastor that he or she may have needs to be outlined and laid out, because it's going to be important in building up the foundation for that ministry.
All right. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And I like that you said that it's a non-for-profit, and then it's the tax exempt.
Correct. Exactly.
All right.
Let me also, if you got a question.
Well, I'm looking for a question right now. Yeah.
Let me also offer this, if I may. I mentioned the business plan template. There's a software out there called Business Power Tools. And Business Power Tools is a very, very powerful business plan and structure software that will be very, very helpful to those that are structuring a business plan. And actually, that's what I will use in our next workshops to move forward in getting a business plan done. At the end, and let me also say this that I didn't say earlier for the listener. At the end of that workshop, whereby each and every individual will come out of there with a business plan, I want to make sure, and I will reach out to our current lender and have them come in so that we can present our business plan to that particular lender that I bring in, and let them critique it. There may be opportunities again that it's good, and they may be interested. But I would want to showcase something like that for each and every person coming out of the business plan workshop, so that again they have they can get their business plan critiqued, yay, nay, know what to make changes on, know what's good, what's bad, what's indifferent.
All right. I have a question. It's, when creating a business plan, do you have to have all the people in place for your board?
It's good to have them in place, but it's not always necessary. You always want to have an odd number of people on your board, only because if there's a tiebreaker, that odd person breaks the tie. But again, you could have you can start out the gates with 2 to 3 people, and then build upon that based upon that individual's input and or expertise that you want to have on your board. Now, keep in mind, there's a board of directors, and then there's an advisory board. The advisory board really is a group of individuals that don't always have the time to be in a meeting with you, but that will advise you on different aspects and operations of your business. And so that's important to consider, both and, as opposed to either or.
Okay. All right. Okay, a person was saying, please. Oh, well, that's.
I just saw a question come up. Does the formula work for an online business as well? Absolutely. An online business is a business. And so what product and or service are you offering through the online portal to the consumer? And so everything that we walk through still applies from the beginning of what we said to the end of what we said. You may not need money now, but at some point in time, you may need money for growth. You may still need that business plan to attract certain people, be it key players on your management team, key vendor and or suppliers to your business. Those type of things, you definitely want to, because again, it's an online business.
Wow, that was awesome. But we're going to tell you we're not finished. We want you to tune in next week as we're going to be releasing another teaching that came from that awesome summit, from his house to your house. All right, be blessed.